It's a very smart decision, and you know, I think Trex was kind of that difference maker that can make the opponent team question themselves in their protocols and what they're going to do. So I definitely stand by that one.
Chrissy, they're doubling down. They're doubling down.
They're doing it again. That is crazy.
Wow, okay.
On the Waylay here as well. I mean, you'll see a lot of the Rays in that slot and comps that look exactly like this. I still lean towards Rays as being the stronger pick on the map, but you can't deny that Yunmin was very effective on the Waylay on Abyss.
Yeah, what's this comp like on Bind, Faded? You like this?
I do actually like it a lot. We were testing the Waylay out a lot in like the couple past splits, and I think there's a lot of effective use cases. I remember when Liquid was actually using it on Icebox, for example, they were trying to use Waylay as a space gainer so that you can kind of set up for deeper executes. And if that's DRX's game plan on the attack, I think they're going to be very effective in being able to take the sites and being able to kind of counter out that trap-style way that Liquid is looking to play. But I do think that it comes down to how effective that flashback can take space afterwards and be able to, you know, get those frags, entry frags, to kind of clear even more waves.
Yeah, we saw those deep fights on Abyss, like the fights up into A Heaven, for example, and I think here on Bind as well, especially fighting to backside A, I think is going to be something I'm going to be looking at here in the first half for DRX. But if Team Liquid are going to go to a map 3, I have to focus on Nats. This is a map he's usually so proficient on. Game 1.
This is his map.
This is his map,
Yeah.
and Game 1 was not by any stretch of the imagination. I need to see my go back on the stage here if we're going to a third.
Yeah, my worry is they couldn't, you know, they couldn't foresee the Waylay Yoru. Maybe they can now on Bind. Unfortunately, Durka is not casting, but I believe we have Mitchman and Sassy.
Almost there, Yinsu, almost. We'll get him on one day. For now, though, Tom, this is the same as the previous map. Two very different ideas in terms of what comps are being brought to bear. But what we saw in map number 1, it seemed like DRX had cracked the code to Abyss, certainly to playing against Team Liquid. And now, do you think it's going to be the same on this map?
I think that Liquid are going to be a lot more comfortable. I think you could tell that they really didn't have their protocols in place when it came to Abyss. Yeah. At the same time, DRX had clearly done prep into even their old composition of where certain trips were being placed. They will have done a lot of prep. They have, at least in the last few months, 5 matches of Bind to watch of Team Liquid. So definite opportunities. This is the man I'm looking at, though. Because I don't think I've ever seen Nats have 2 maps that bad, ever. And this is his map.
This is the one. The recovery for Team Liquid. Yunmin back to his old tricks. Flashback there alongside him, and Yunmin with his 3rd kill of the round. His 2nd. DRX in a 5 versus 2. This has gone downhill very quickly. There's your stats powered by AWS. 24.6% of the time, Team Liquid are getting the spike defuse, and in a 2v5, I imagine that stat's even worse.
This is going to be tough to try and break back into. It's mostly going to come down to mistakes, and I want to give credit in the last map as well to DRX. They weren't really making silly errors. They were looking like a well-oiled machine, and well, it is a flawless pistol round to kick things off. I believe that's 3 for 3 as well in terms of the pistols so far this game.
One of the things to look at as well on this B and A site when we get back in game, I challenge you, look at the map and think about the differences between this and Abyss. On Abyss, it's a lot of open space. It's a lot of long laneways approaching a site. When you dive in, getting back out is so valuable. Here, Hyunmin has the ability to actually dive into corners, into crevices, and fight his way back out alongside his teammates. That's what we see here in the pistol, and I think that's what we're going to see in some of the future rounds as well, especially if it's combined with some flashes from the Yoru of Flashback. This is a very difficult composition to play against. Team Liquid certainly have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they're kind of unlucky that they are the team that's almost the guinea pig. They don't get to go into the next game and study what their opponents are doing. They've got to adapt on the fly. And well, a very aggressive start to this round. Camo's the only one that's really invested anything into it. A cheeky Bucky. A very, very passive hold from the side of DRX. You can kind of understand why, but this time it's a little bit different to the last buy we saw in their bonus. They were going heavy on those SMGs, and sure, they've got one, but a couple of pistols mean that they can afford casualties, but also in the next round, they'll be able to afford some extra rifles as well.
That's exactly it. Last time it was all about securing that second.
They're so ready for it.
The map with so much range. Now they can afford to have those weaknesses, if you want to even call them that. Certainly not in this fight. There's the Bucky. Fine and one, difficult to use when you're having to reclaim space, but they'll at least get off to a good start. Problem is, I don't think there's much to be upgraded there.
Spike planted.
Kiko might be able to grab something. Bane is not aware of him by the looks of things and comes to clear it and loses his life. Camo with another. This is now getting very dangerous. What's left is still Hyunmin. He has been huge, and Mako really heated up towards the end of the last map. It's Hyunmin to find one, to fall back now, create the space, force uncomfortable fights. It's a classic and a Bucky. All you gotta do is make sure you're far away, but Nats taking now Mako, puts the pressure on Hyunmin. Defuse underway, Bucky guarding short, and it's Camo third! An immediate response from Team Liquid in round number 2.
Don't know why you're looking at me like I can explain what I've just seen.
A Bucky and what, 4 classics? They didn't even have a sheriff, did they?
The thing is, okay, the Bucky is bad, but it's more so where the Bucky was. Like, it was playing in showers, and they planted in towards that A short position. Like, the fact that he's able to go into the smoke, kill a man, and then push all the way back in. Like, these are fights that you should never, ever, ever win with a Bucky or a classic. It makes no sense. And, well, I guess I'm eating my words from the prior round about overextensions, because I definitely felt like there were some silly mistakes. Early attempt at a response. Note that they didn't buy back in with those rifles. They've gone with some SMGs instead, keeping their economy good, hopefully for the next round. But just look at what's on the other side. It is full rifles for Liquid. Huge boost to economy.
Oh yeah, I mean, losing the pistol, winning second is about as good as it can go, especially when you didn't even invest into the second. It wasn't a force fight. Up close, Hyunmin, flashback.
You gotta win third.
This is getting scary. Yeah, it's all about building that economy early for Liquid and how strong they look, but hell, if you lose this round, we're right back to square one.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice nade alongside a snake bite and a poison orb. It's a freebie on range. Drex is dominating, and it will end in favor of Liquid. Costly, sure, but a 2-1 lead nonetheless. It's better than they got on map 1.
I could already tell this game's gonna be hectic. Already at the few rounds into Bind, and it's looking exciting. This is the sort of power of that double dive into the site. It just creates so many awkward spots for players to try and fight within. But Trex, again, he definitely had his moments. But the fact is, his multi-frag was necessary in this round. And now, well, this is where DRX finally have rifles of their own.
They're not afraid to let Liquid know. An immediate headshot from Flashback. Puts this into a 5v4. That was the orb claimed by Camo. He's got himself a showstopper for the next round. And this would be the exact round you wanted in. Good housekeeping early on from the attack side. The push in towards Hookah could be a little dangerous. Point of contact is going to be Trex, but he is baiting for Kiko in the corner. The problem is he goes down, so now they don't have to clear that right side, and Prowler comes in. That's Kiko shut down. DRX are walking their way into this site. Patatek, the only one standing in their way now, and a flash, sure to blind him. He dodges it just about and at least claims one more. But it looks like an impossible position for Nats, who's coming off the back of a pretty rough start in the previous.
This is where DRX have been tough to beat. Falling back, holding together. And while making his way through that smoke was never going to happen. An immediate response from DRX, and after a costly round, it's going to put Liquid on the back burner here.
What a crazy start to this game. Trex gets so unlucky. I think if he can actually fall back inside Hookah, there's a good chance. Combining with Patatek down on site, they've got the flashes for the re-clears after the initial fight, or the support on a re-swing. But him going down, it just makes it impossible. The extra Prowler, instead of going right, goes left, catches Kiko. And the pieces of the puzzle start to come together for DRX. Now, Showstopper we mentioned for Camo, but again, then look at the round we're in. It being online so early,
They've got a Bucky, what do you mean?
Oh, good point, actually. I didn't think of that. They don't have a rifle anymore. That's going to have to be retrieved. But on the other side as well, if anything goes wrong, DRX have got 2 big ultimates to get them right back into the game.
I'd be surprised if they need them.
They shouldn't.
But it really does feel like, especially going back to the last map and this one, it feels like they've maybe just spent the entirety of that extra break they had just aim training. Like, everybody is looking so crisp on the DRX side. Flashback on that duelist has been impressive. Hyunmin still firing, and at least in this map so far, there hasn't really looked like a weakness. Already going to spot the player on site. Kiko has been able to at least retrieve that singular rifle, but they are just waiting for him to make that move.
And again, we see that other layer. We've seen Hyunmin dive in, take space. This time dives in, takes info, falls back, and it's his teammates to execute on the back of that information. Kiko's being very patient. Not swinging out, and it's a good thing too. Wraps back around to meet up with Trex, finds Flashback. It's a good start, but still, that bookie on Trex, he needs something else. And in fact, up close, he might have a chance of punishing Hyunmin. They've heard the bookie fire. Hyunmin's down to 30. The Trex is all alone. This round already done. I guess the question was, could he get any more? And the answer is a resounding no. 3-2. DRX right back in the lead.
Yeah, and they keep both of those ults, more importantly. It's only a singular player loss. It's just a straight spam through. Angles known, and then patience. Similarly to the last map on this defensive side, we've seen those attempts at aggression. But it seems like this squad led by Marco have been very comfortable in just sitting back, taking those individual fights. This is where we wait to see if there's a response. Now, something that Liquid love to do is this deep smoke, deep flash, pressure down. And that's what they look to do again.
DRX are ready for it, but the showstopper causes issues. The flash is perfect from Trex. And a dominant round from Team Liquid. And we saw this on the previous map as well. Sometimes they just want to take the fight to you, defensive side, but they're playing the attack.
I'll be honest, if you've ever watched Liquid play this map, you've seen that strat. They absolutely adore it. The second you see that smoke going down deep, you have to be wary. A lot of teams will even play behind that box all the way back deep towards the spawn just to have a safe spot, but they did not do that. You could see how blind the players were on the other side, and even escaping wasn't really an option. A set play that's successful, and in fact, they're going to take early space on that side of the map again. As you can see, DRX immediately is like, no, you know what, I don't want that heat, we're going elsewhere.
And the importance as well of having the showstopper in that moment and the second flash on Trex, because the first flash, it catches 1 or 2. There's still 2 players ready to fight. But as soon as showstopper pops, everyone's looking to face. They realize we can't fall back, we have to fight. And that's when the Gecko flash wins them the round. Great utility coming out of Team Liquid, but DRX now, still with rifles, still with those big ultimates, 1 away from Pring having the Viper's Pit, and it's going to be Orbital Strike immediately, covering off that backside of Lamps as they go in to clear it. Plant can now be secured. Spams through the smoke, always going to be dangerous. Trex finding that extra information and clearing out all this space, but when they see so many of the players from Team Liquid flooding into the A site, ults being committed, the TP is taken, and DRX go all the way out to the B site. Easy plans. That's a great adjustment, thinking on their feet.
Yeah, and look at the ults they have as well. Convergence path can completely stun up the players. That's immediately going to be used, in fact. That's 3 players that are just stuck in the spawn. The nade has been used just to try and quell any aggression, but DRX have no interest. Oh, we got a 5v4. We don't need to take the risk. Seeker's used on the other side to garner that extra little bit of space, but now the Viper's Pit hits onto the spike. This is a losing battle, or so it's seen. Liquid somehow striking back. Paditek with an immediate double, and a spray through onto Bane leaves 1. Freeing. He should be able to deny the first. Needs to at least try, and has done so, but Nats is there in response. Time-wise, there will be...
Oh, it's close!
Oh, just about enough. But a fantastic retake from Liquid. As said, Convergence Path, Viper's Pit, and somehow they make their way back in.
I thought that was perfect play from DRX, to be honest. Hyunmin putting the ult down, it's very reminiscent of the Visals buying them time.
They were under a second off.
Yeah, 0.7. But that spam from Nats, and then the invasion of the pit, that's what makes the difference. Team Liquid take the lead 4-3 now. And for DRX, it's a costly loss. As we get back into the game, you'll see the economy there. It's not looking pretty. They're going to have to take a light buy. And unless there's a miracle on their side, that's a 2-round lead for Liquid. What a back and forth game this has been. We'll see if momentum and fate will finally choose a side.
I don't think so. From everything we've seen so far in this match.
Game of tennis.
It seems like we're going to spend the whole game on juice. And only a final advantage will be found at the end. Again, the Stinger has been a real irritation for Liquid. Nade will do some damage onto Marco, but he will be able to escape. Post-plant with a Molotov, a Seize as well, a Snakebite. Like, they've got some post-plant utility to play with here. They don't, however, have guns.
Yeah, with the pistols, you think you even want to put that Viper's Pit in. It's usually not the play. Baiting out that utility already, you can see Grim Molly goes up, and it takes so long to land. They've got so much time, and it doesn't matter! They're doing it with the pistols! The MasterCard Thrifty! I thought they've got enough utility to buy time to make it close, but that was anything but close!
You're saying something about choosing a side and finally building back into the game, getting some momentum. I think it was immediate 1-2 punch. I think even they're surprised as to what's just happened. Yeah.
I was looking at the utility belt for a second. Oh, they've also got Nevermind. Everyone's dead. That's incredible.
Wow, Liquid are going to take themselves a pause. You can understand why they win a close round. Immediately just get decimated by pistols. Unable to really get going. Funnily enough, I think the biggest streak they will have had is in the end of the first half of the first map, where they brought it back to 6-6. It wasn't even them taking a lead. It was just, that was the streak. And then every time DRX have had some form of combo breaker. As we said, it looked like the build up to that round was all about post plants. How are they going to have a sweaty setup? No, they just headshot everybody. It's as I said, I think they've just been practicing their aim for the last month. That's what it looks like.
I think you might have hit the nail on the head there, Tom. That,
give me the deathmatch routine. That's all I'm going to say.
Drop it. Drop it right now. DRX should have been 5-3 down. They really should have. And running through a smoke against any weapon, it's always dangerous, but you don't expect them to just pop off like that.
Yeah.
Every shot landing, every Sheriff finding its mark, and an immediate Viper's Pit going to come through here from Team Liquid. You can already see it being set up. Prowler forces Nats back, but no one's there to take the space.
This does make me a little bit nervous. I'm looking at Nightfall, Jungmin's ability to basically get over the pit. That's why they have a player in the backlines in camo. He's going to be watching to almost try and defend off his teammate from behind, but there's a lot that can be utilized. And Trex, again, he's played this somewhat off angle before, but they have been ready and waiting. And I like the fact this time he's falling back. We've seen him challenge this before, and it has not really worked out.
Going back to the A site, you know, it's still an option, but you really got to be going through bathroom if that's the play. And DRX are leaving that door open by moving towards B long. If they meet too much resistance, but 45 seconds left. Dash comes in, Refract online, first player spotted, stunned as well. Now they can try to close in that distance. That's exactly what they're doing. Trex under so much pressure. Patatek tried to help him out, but he ends up falling at the hands of Mako. And DRX, they're pushing into this site. Marquiko's falling for the decoy. Everything going the way of the attacking side since they pulled those Sheriffs out in the last. And Team Liquid, yeah, the snake bites landed, a little bit of damage. Great, but it's time to save these weapons. No contest. It's 5 for DRX.
Nothing that can really be done at this stage. And a solid use of, I believe it was the Saturate, right? That bounced off the back and just left Trex in an awkward position. You can understand Patatek's response. Okay, I want to swing. I want to try and help my teammate out, but it just didn't go to plan. And from then onwards, it just seemed like the second they have even the slightest of opening, this composition just allows DRX to just steamroll into the site.
Just there when we were on POV of Nats, actually, I was watching the entire time that they've been saving. he has been rattling off words. I don't know what's being said, but big changes for Team Liquid. A lot of holes in the ship right now. A lot of wooden planks needed. Because the thing is, you say about DRX, they're hitting their shots, they won the round with the pistols, but here, Team Liquid aren't. Right, Trex is obviously, I can forgive his position, he's trapped in a tiny corner. The stun just about fading. But Paddy caught in this transitional period between taking the fight and falling back. It's an easy pick. And we can't see it be fed to DRX like this. 2 rounds in a row and a chance for an 8-4 half. With how these rounds are going, with where the economy's at for Liquid, it should at least be a lead for DRX in the end, with ults online for the next. Mainly looking at Mako, he should have that orbital strike. And no one's close on Team Liquid. Oh, I thought that's an info dive. He's full committed. Still go back.
Sticking it for now. He is going to try and go back, and there isn't really anybody that can punish from this angle. It's a solid start, though. Nats now goes down. But bear in mind, there were some severe weaknesses, and now Camo's coming in from behind. He could just end this round, but it's whiffy! It's really whiffy. Luckily, he's got Kiko to back him up, and Trex has managed to find one with a ghost. It doesn't end up going wrong for Liquid, but it very nearly did.
So yeah, DRX hitting all their shots. Sometimes for Liquid, that's not the case. Might be the most egregious example that we've ever seen, and good luck to Camo in living that one down. But 5-5 nonetheless. The rest of the team was able to pick up his mess, I'll say. And we may still see a neck-and-neck half. The game of Deuce continues. But what a chaotic set of rounds we have. The ult popped, it was full focus from them, but the reaction from Hyun Min, finding one, the 180 as a bullet whizzes past him. And
I think the
close.
POV we saw of Nats there just shows the chaos of the comp, though. Like, he's having to full 180 to shoot out the haunt and then turn back in time to be able to shoot flashback. And he did that. Fair play to him. Like, his reactions were impressive, but they are making what is normally his home turf an awkward place to play. And we'll see if he can do it in that second half. There we go. Finally, there's been a missed shot on the other side of things, and Camo gets a little bit of revenge. Poetic justice, you could say. However, there's always a response, and that was incredibly clean from freeing Nats. I don't even know if his head was fully showing.
Well, it was found on the other side nonetheless. That was redemption for Camo to start, but Nats, same old thing. This time less utility involved. It's just a straight up duel that he loses. For DRX, that's a equalization in terms of numbers. It makes this A site much more vulnerable. Only now Trex is swinging out to try to clear that position on short, and I think he's seen some of them. Camo now turns to fight those players, and that's when Fring is going to be striking. Oh, doing damage as Hyunmin finishes the off, but Kiko does well to at least find himself two, leaving it on to Bane. Spike down, 15 seconds. That plant needs to be secured now.
Flash over the top. Second comes out from Sky. This is forced Bane into an awkward position, or maybe not. Trex has gone for the fight, and this time Bane, again, he's just going to stick it out. Oh, eventually gets caught by the wingman that was from a player who died ages ago. He must have been running around for a few seconds.
I think he was just about to run out, and he caught a lock-on. He found the player.
How has that happened? Like,
you hit the shot on the head.
Do we have a
Trex.
wingman POV? Is that an option? Because
I'm not sure.
Like, Trex was dead for ages.
Yeah, I'm not sure at all. 6-5 for Team Liquid, and MVP of this round may well be that wingman. There he goes, running it down.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I feel bad for Bane. I feel bad for him. Like, he did so well in that clutch.
You know the problem there? Crosshair placement. He's trying to headshot the wingman. But he's short. 6-5.
Is that what happens when someone tries to headshot you? Anyway, into the round. An aggressive start. A low weapon or two, and an immediate usage of that orbital strike. A pacey hit, and well, it's got right past, spotted the players. One of them already being stunned up, and the fight back. Bane's revenge, as he will find a double. Freeing in position. They need to clear him, and they have. Gives them a chance.
Oh! Mako and Bane are solo! Nightfall goes through. Both players spotted up there. Info to play with, but Hyun Min, the man with the weight of the world on his shoulders now, his teammates have forced into a fight. The odds aren't looking to be in their favor, but time is ticking. waiting for the Nightfall to fade. The flash out sees no one. Close left clear, worried about long. Nats finding Mako, but it's Hyunmin finding himself the first, and Bane to swing deep. 6-6, neck and neck at the halftime.
A really impressive response once again, and an incredible half of VALORANT. 6-6 as we stick it out. And honestly, the way that this game is going, it is looking like it's going to be potentially, Mitch, one of the all-time greats.
One enemy remains.
Certainly one hell of a start here on Bind. We've seen some long games, and if it keeps up, well, we might be adding this one indeed. You talked about the bounce back of Nats as well, and he has certainly looked good. But Tom, I've had enough of hearing from you. I want to go down to the main man who was up here earlier, Durka, who's standing by with me.
Et ai-je vraiment besoin de présenter la légende de Vitality, Durke, qui m'a rejoint? Hi Durke, welcome to Paris. It's a pleasure to welcome you here on Vitality's home soil. Thank you for being there. First of all, I think the fans appreciated you coming here, even though you're not playing. How does it feel, you know, having people cheering for you everywhere you go?
Feels amazing. We have a lot of fans here, and even though we didn't play here, I think we got still a lot of support. A lot of fans come in asking for pictures, signature, and stuff. So it's like really nice. Merci les gars.
Merci les gars. And I think everyone is happy to hear this. Donc qu'est-ce que ça fait finalement d'avoir des fans qui viennent te voir, qui viennent te soutenir ici, même quand tu ne joues pas, et bah forcément leur soutien me va droit au cœur. Ça fait très plaisir. On espéra aussi faire mieux. Merci les gars, comme il le dit si bien. Second question about this match. I was wondering, are we rooting, you know, EMEA, or is there any player in DRX that you want to see winning?
I mean, always kind of for EMEA. I want them to succeed anyway. So I think my first initial prediction was like 2-1, but now it kind of gets tough, you know.
So you would say Liquid still?
Yeah.
Okay, rooting for Team Liquid. Du coup, qui est-ce que tu soutiens entre Team Liquid et DRX? On est toujours du côté de l'EMEA, donc on soutient l'EMEA. Thank you very much. Merci, Derke. And let's see if Team Liquid can take the win. Let's get back to the game.
Well, it's good to see one of my favorite co-casters down there in the crowd. We had fun earlier, and his predictions came through. He was talking a big game about Hyunmin, and that man has certainly delivered here today. I mean, just a stellar performance from him, but there's been plenty of heroes down on the server as we get into the Coinbase Econ report at halftime.
Yeah, for sure. It is looking maybe the most even you're ever going to see it. It's crazy as well that you think about how Hyunmin has been playing, and Nats is yet to damage him. He's just been flying over the top and is unable to really catch the man. It's like trying to catch smoke. He just disappears every time you get close. Even still though, level at the half. And this is the map, this is the half where we talk about this man as the best in the world. Like, I don't think there's many arguments to be had in that respect. His positioning, especially towards that A side of the map, has always been problematic. But as said, the preparation we've seen from DRX going into this game, the difficulty they've caused with this comp, I am very intrigued to see if they can finally beat Nats.
Oh, he certainly had a good bounce back, as we saw there in the stats from the previous map, where he was being shut down at every turn. A couple of rough openings, but for the most part, this has been night and day. Deep play from Team Liquid. Not afraid to get aggressive, and the full site's already cleared out. They're starting to get an inkling. DRX were doing something. There's no reason to leave A this open, so they expect the flank to be coming through. In fact, Nats expects the flank to be coming through. In goes the snakebite. He will be caught. Push up, but Kiko's watching his back. Team Liquid, a double opening, a 5 versus 3. They know that Mako's here as well. Ooh, but Nats has been tagged extremely low. It's an easy cleanup. But time is ticking.
Yeah, there's so much left to do. And not much left to do it with. The players in lamps are going to cause serious issues, and at this point, it's all about orbs. The clock is far too low already, and Marco, well, he's going to at least clean up a few, do a little bit of extra damage, but that is all she wrote. It will be Liquid taking their first pistol round of the series. We'll see if that is a turning point for them in this map. From what I've seen so far, probably not.
I have absolutely no faith. We've already seen second rounds go the way of the team who lost the pistol. We started it out that way, and for DRX, with the shots they've been hitting, I don't think anything in this match is guaranteed. It is a game of uncertainty. We came in with questions, one of them being who's the best Abyss team, and maybe now we've got an answer, but who's the best team? That's still up for debate. Still up for discussion, still up for competition as Team Liquid 1 round up. This should be housekeeping. It should be easy. A chore, an uncomfortable one sometimes, but not a difficult one.
Well, they are currently walking into a 4-man stack, and well, now that 4-man stack's coming to them. The defense trying to put the pressure on, but Kiko, he is not crumbling. Clean as you like. He's been one of the best in EMEA all season. And the crowd calling for an ace. I will say he is about as far away from freeing as humanly possible. He would have to have the greatest teammates on the planet. And I will say, they can only afford one death here. So I kind of hope that they're not throwing their weapons away for him to get an ace.
Well, actually, Camo might not have a choice. He's out here on long. He's 7 HP. A single shot from freeing will take him down, and that's exactly what happens. Damage on to Kiko as well. Lined up with Patatek. The chance for the ace is there, but we've seen it before. Patatek stealing the ace. It's poor form, Tom.
I don't think he could see the guy, but you know, I guess.
Should never have shot.
Yeah, unfortunate. Oh wow. Gotcha. This is the sort of stuff you want to see from Kiko. Sure, it's up against pistols, but when he's on, he is a force to be reckoned with, and he is on most of the time.
Yo, Gio, you're back. Wow.
Turned into Waluigi for a second.
I like this Poison Orb. That's really nice from Team Liquid. Using them to avoid the haunt that goes down early. Now Bane thinks that that angle should be clear at least for a little bit longer, and he goes out to Jet. Camo's there to greet him. Most of the squad of Team Liquid is there waiting for that peak. All the while they drag these rotates from DRX towards the B site, a mass exodus of A, and they can just go walking back. The space hasn't been taken though. There are players outside A, but no one has filled it in.
But also look at freeing. He is tagged so desperately low, so it's not like he can now go jump peeking, jiggle peeking, swinging angles, because a stray bullet, hell, even the Tiger could take him out at this stage. He's got to be incredibly careful, and that's not really what is needed. In fact, they've had to gamble a second player over to this side of the map. And well, the Tiger's not going to finish him off. We'll see if somebody on the Liquid roster will.
Yeah, the Fangs didn't find him. But they're going to be aware of this position. His best play, wait for the rest of the team. Try to take advantage of the chaos. Hope that Liquid try to respond to the retake by pushing into his space. He can land that shot. But it's a passive play from Team Liquid. Not much utility left, and I think that's certainly of note at this point. Post plant isn't really that much of an option, not as deep as we'll see with this comp a little bit later on, I'd imagine. But Camo does well to find not their first of the round, but their first of the retake, a 3 versus 5. And the question for DRX, do we go for it? Do we risk these weapons with such little economy? And the answer is a clear no. They're running for the hills, and Team Liquid pushing up to 9.
Yeah, it's kind of a brutal scenario for them. They get absolutely played by the Poison Orb, which I'll say as well, with how powerful a post-plant tool that is a definite read from Liquid. That is them going, okay, they're going to try and get early info. Maybe they throw that haunt up high, as we've seen so many times. We hide within that Poison Orb. It's not the same as a sky smoke falling down, which is a very clear indicator that that has been avoided. And then because of that, they get that early pick, but also do enough damage on the other side of the map that I was actually looking at the contact point of where freeing was in lamps. If he swings, Camo is looking the complete opposite way and no one could cover him. But he doesn't have the HP to swing anymore. That was the one opening they had back into the site, and the second they lose another player, it's done. Like, you have to just retreat. Well, clearly feeling the pressure a little bit. We've spoken about Liquid streaking rounds together has been a tough thing to do, bar that first half of Abyss. Well, now that they've managed to win this one, go 3-0 up, DRX are feeling the pressure.
Well, this is the first time it's really felt like Team Liquid has the lead. They've got their hands firmly wrapped around those reins, and for DRX, the fight back, it's not out of reach just yet. But with 3 rifles saved, they've still got a decent chance at what will be a mixed buy or a light buy. They have a decision to make. How much do they invest into this? The ones with rifles, a little bit more, leaving themselves with less for the next, and does that mean a force-up? Maybe they try the Bucky. Hell, it worked on the other side.
It's definitely not pretty. That's the other problem, is you save all these guns and you feel the need to reinvest into your utility. It can kind of create this offset of never really having a particularly decent buy if you don't manage to make this work. So it's definitely put them in an odd position. The other thing as well is it's not like, oh yeah, we've got this ult that can pad the gap. This ult, there's nothing. The closest is going to be Marco having that orbital strike if he can get either 3 kills or claim 2 orbs. And for the defense, claiming those orbs is definitely not easy. What their plan is, push. Taking that little bit of extra control towards the A site. The Liquid have other ideas.
Well, they had the chance to play through the TP from DRX if the pressure was put on there. But instead, they decided to go pushing down. Again, filling back into that space. Steps hurt. They've made the right read. There's no utility coming through from Team Liquid. It's a disaster! Marco!
Down A.
He has shut down that rotate. They were expecting a fight around the corner, but he steps through, takes the battle to them, and leaves Kiko in a 1 versus 5. What a game plan from DRX. Well played. The utility spent on B, the gradual fallbacks, the Viper wall up. It made it look like Liquid hadn't a chance if they went there. So they have to go the other way, and that's all part of the plan for DRX.
Well, you can see as well that I feel like Liquid's expectation was that was going to be a crunch. I think they put the poison orb on the TP, like basically just so that if anybody tried to get through, Nats could cover them. They were expecting aggression, just not in the right place. And once he goes down, well, the rest of the team immediately pivot, and they are just not prepared for the aggression of Marco, putting the team on his back once again, a vintage display of individual brilliance. And more some frustration, because as I said, that was still the economy of DRX on the brink. Now they managed to win with what was a couple of pistols still there.
With some upgrades as well. Bane coming in late for the Sheriff kill. He'll make it out. Flashback sticks around for 1, and he gets his reward. Camo playing ahead, maybe expecting that the TP had already been taken. Either way, it's a mistake. Nats with an op, lurking up in the wall. You do not see this every day, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he does love an outlaw. But I guess his expectation is that, okay, they've got this double duelist, there's going to be players looking for the fight. He was correct. He just wasn't in the right place. Now just sat back. Gonna try and claim some additional space. He managed to walk his way. This is the classic. He's walked all the way up. That operator's still watching though. And that's taken out Kiko. He's managed to see a man on the other side, but DRX are not looking to fight this. Not looking to give that additional little battle over to Nats. In fact, he's going to go walking through, taking so much damage as he does, but his goal is not to fight these players, it's to get into the backlines. But look how prepared DRX are for this. They now have players watching from either side.
Orbital strike going to completely deny the plan. Trek's taken down as well. He'll go down with the ship, with his wingman, and the op on flashback catches Nats. All that posturing, and it leaves them with nothing. And for Patatek, yeah, he is way out of position. Trying to play a super late lurk, but when the whole team crumbles like that, all you can do is save.
Yeah, he needs to as well. Like, you start looking at the finances of Liquid holding onto this gun could make a pretty significant difference. But that's a solid round from DRX. I think bringing the flashback operator in, like him just having that element of maneuverability, able to put himself into positions to find those openers, escape, and find the opener again. But then also just the A-site hold was so patient. They didn't give anything to Nats. Like, he's busy trying to hunt down players, find his team some value. And for the whole round, he's basically just a non-factor, even though he had so much space.
1 round between them. I felt like Liquid were at least going to push up to that double-digit mark, and from there, the world's their oyster. Just a few rounds ago when DRX had those 3 rifles and 2 pistols to play with, 3 players digging deep in terms of their economy to make that happen, and look at the reward they found. 1 round between them. Orbital Strike online, and you know what? It's going to be used, sent in onto Bane, but it's only a trade, and they've lost Camo, the man who would have taken that orb and been one away from the showstopper. Instead, he's still one away, but it's going to have to be saved for the next round. And with credits where they're at, that's not ideal.
It's a successful ult combo. At least they don't go a man down, but it's a heavy investment. We now sit there looking at a patient DRX. You've got the operator locking down the other side, and Hyunmin again is going to go looking for information, but he's managed to take quite a bit of control. They've stuck themselves in towards Zuka, but have left themselves stuck in the mud. Even still, they hold the line! An absolute shutdown of the Liquid push. They might get caught by the flashes, but it means absolutely nothing.
I actually don't know who broke the Gecko Flash that came through. I think it might have been Fring, but that was so important.
30 seconds.
Those players were going to be dead to rights if that connected up close in outside of Hookah. And at that point, the round falls, it crumbles. And DRX see Liquid push up to 10, but instead a huge punish. And again, it's going to be one player on that attack side left to save this weapon. But it's worrying.
10 seconds left.
This is where you want perhaps a pause to come through. At 9-6, DRX did it, and they managed to course correct immediately. Now they're neck and neck again for Team Liquid. A team that comes in as, I think in most people's minds, certainly, look, EMEA #1, Pacific #4. They are the favorites. They are the ones with the pressure on their shoulders. And for DRX, heating up like this so early on, already having a map to the good, and now on the map where Liquid think, well, we're comfortable. We can take the fight to them. It's not the case. Well, not convincingly.
Giving the context of how DRX even qualified it, it was the match of Talon facing off against RFU. Talon with 2-0 in the lead. They close out one of the last 3 maps, and DRX aren't even here. Well, we're talking about Talon playing in this game, or actually, Talon would have gone in as a #2 seed and put someone else down, so it would have been a completely different story. DRX make a last-minute roster change as well, bringing Bane back in. And wow, what a change that seems to have been. Flashback able to go over to the duelist, and Bane. That's the second round in a row we've seen him just spam through, and this time, well, there's no orbital strike to try and balance that one out.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, he's the one with the ultimate, and that confirms no one's here anymore. The A site's the right place to be. Hyunmin starts to rotate around. He's now going to be here to help out with this push if it does come down here, and the big problem, the op in that corner. Trex is stuck. He has to face him. He has to cross him. And you don't cross Flashback without paying the price. But Bane, in a 5v3, walks down B long. That's left the B site wide open.
Yeah, the thing is, Nats doesn't know that. He doesn't know how much of a commitment there was, so they still have to be patient, but eventually will get themselves in onto the site. Flashback, having that dimensional drift available, will be able to get themselves into post, but the plant not given over to Camo means he doesn't have that ultimate online yet. They're trying to put the pressure on. He needs a kill, and he'll find it.
There we go.
Now that's the showstopper. Immediately puts into play, but he's trying to find a target, and he'll get it. Hyunmin down, giving them the advantage once again, and Camo's taking over. Just the one standing, but that one is Flashback. He has been a man to deal with, and a rifle picked up with the remaining 2. So passive, so patient. He's expecting that they're towards long, but both players are going to be swinging from the same position, and only the first is needed. Camo saving the day, and Liquid, well, they don't let the lead slip. They will take it back with 10.
Such an important round for Camo, especially Tom. It looked like a mistake not seeing that orb go to him, especially when you're in a disadvantage. I was very surprised, but the fact that he finds that opening onto Fring, that he can catch Hyunmin and then lands it onto Mako. That single-handedly saved the round and perhaps Team Liquid's life on that upper bracket run. One round in between them, but it's Liquid still in the lead. It's Thrash online for Trex, making a side exec much easier. And Flashback wants to get ahead of that. He knows if you sit back and let Liquid make the push, especially with Thrash, they've got a good chance. So he wants to push into them.
Don't know if Flashback goes any further than this.
Gate crash fading.
Yeah, would open him up to a couple of angles, but he does have support.
Gate crash gone.
No easy escape, but with the angles held, oh, there you go. The second one will be put into play. They want to try and hold on to this. The fact is, though, Liquid really have ground to a halt. They're expecting there to be some level of aggression. And what they're correct, they just haven't found it yet.
It's going to be B-Long, I think. While the Tigers sent through on A, you can see Camo posturing, ready to push on up. In goes Thrash. A lot of pressure on A, but Spike's still in spawn. From DRX's perspective, this looks like a hit, but I think the rotate to B is far more likely. They'll pick up that Spike and rush on in. Hyunmin finds one, but Panatek is good for the trade, and he's just a distraction right now. He is drawing their eyes, but DRX haven't full rotated. They've left Mako on this side of the map. Bane's been holding on to control of B-Long. They're suspicious of this play, and rightfully so. Bane will find his reward. Mako needs to be patient, play this one with his teammate, and Bane is the one to find the pick. They can swing together on Kiko. Spike down, 12 seconds as the rest of DRX arrive. They will not fall for Liquid's bait. It's DRX, neck and neck again.
Yeah, they're reading this game incredibly well. The goal from Liquid has been to try and have that push and pull, sell the fake in, throw the thrash in, force them back, and that's exactly what they did. But then Nats falls on one side, and because of that, they don't gamble the rotation, they don't pull that second player over. I feel like Bane, well, it's in the name. He's been the bane of their lives. He's causing them so many issues. Just sat back in this corner, over towards the garden, time and time again. And while at 10-10, Liquid will take a pause. And I want to give context as well of what the loser has to deal with. The previous champion's winner. That's what happens if you lose. If you take a defeat, you go up against Khan and his merry men of EDG. And no matter how confident you are in Liquid, the #1 seed, they've looked great regionally. Had their issues on the international stage, but of course some of the time that was because of players not being able to get there. Definitely a tough time for them. But I don't think you can be completely confident in either team falling into that lower bracket when they're up against EDG.
No, you certainly shouldn't be. It'd be a different story if they'd found their way down there and needed this massive comeback, return to form, because they looked weak today. That's not the case. They were not pulling blows. They were landing a lot of solid rounds, and I think, you know, you see it in how long the series lasted.
Yeah.
Or even just one of the maps over on Abyss. For Team Liquid, it's 10 on the board, but it's not likely to be 11. The economy is very weak. 2 rifles, a Bucky, a Stinger, and a pistol. For DRX, they have everything to work with. This should be the lead to the defensive side, but stranger things have certainly happened, even just here today.
Oh, it's early space taken. Nice shot from Bane again. As said, they have struggled to deal with him on this site. Combination of utility trying to create pressure, and pressure is being created. Flashback missing a shot. Flash immediately around the corner. He's so blind and will fall because of it. Spike down once again. With these weak purchases, Liquid get a chance.
Liquid have got the op as well. They've done the work. The groundwork with the spike down. Might not be an advantage just yet, but it's a lot closer to it than they were just moments ago. The defuse already starts. Blind catches everybody. Liquid spamming no, and the players up top. The defuse from Mako. He stands in the open. They spray too low, and that will give DRX 11. That was a shaky start, but DRX have control.
Yeah, it's once again. Bane gets the opener. And then Bane is the one that basically just defends his teammate while the spams are coming through, clearing out the remainder. What a fantastic individual display from a man that coming into this tournament we didn't even expect to be in the roster. Like, I didn't know he was in the roster until today.
Well, I think they're going to be pretty happy that they brought him back. 11-10, rifles for Team Liquid, ult on Patatek. That's the only one for now, but this could be a crazy round for DRX. Hyunmin, Fring, and Bane all one away. Bane, thanks to his 4K in the previous, a single pick, a single orb. The favor of this round swaps completely from a close one, a hard one to call. The heavily favored one for that defensive side, who've now been chaining rounds. They've been looking good. But we're used to the game of tennis. The score line of Deuce, the back and forth. Someone's got to crack the code eventually.
Again, the saturation's going to slow them on their take. Freeing in the corner will be dealt with immediately. Min needs to go big and doesn't. Immediately taken down, and they've even managed to remove Bane. The problem is, Marco's still standing. Nats with the pit, and the spike wasn't necessarily committed to this side of the map. In fact, it's incredibly far away. It'll have to be a little bit perplexing to the other side. In fact, they are now going to take it into the B side. The Viper's pit ended up just being a ruse, but that feels much more like a mid-round call. You've dealt with Bane. Now you got a post plant.
But the damage here, well, the AWP has been picked back up, but it makes it a lot closer than it might seem. Paratech and Camo have been able to tuck away, though. They've been able to claim their spots to fight from. But Liquid need to be so careful not to overpeak. DRX already finding the opening.
Again.
They baited Mako into the open with the tap. Another tap coming through. The scars of the previous round where the defuse was stuck. Still showing here, he needs to pick! Mako! Stop the defuse for the Red Bull clutch! 12 for DRX! How have they gotten away with that?
The maestro of Marco has manipulated them once again. The last round he sticks it from the very beginning. This time taps it and then just almost plays the bait as teammate goes down, and they assume, in most cases, not for the wrong of them, that there's no way he'd stick it now. But this man has made the right call every single time. Leader of the pack and back on the international stage.
The goal it took to stick that now leaves Liquid 2 behind. 1 away from Showstopper, sure, that could help. The flashback's got a victim in mind. It's the Showstopper himself, stuck in the corner, and Op watching his crossback. He's stunned too. The flash goes in, they know there's 2 players here. Blood in the water. The DRX are hunting it down. Min catches Camo. That was one of the main things the Team Liquid could rely on. The Showstopper, if found, could change the course of this round. At least give them a leg up, and instead, they are falling.
Down B.
1 by 1 till it's a 5v3, a 5v2. DRX on the cusp of taking this series. A series everybody would have favored to Team Liquid at 2-0, the likely result. And look at them now.
30 seconds
They're called the masters of the group stage for a reason. The 5th, 6th spot has always had their name on it, and that means they need to make it out of the groups, but they're looking to do it in style. Kiko is all that stands in their way, and of course it's flashback to deal the final blow. A late change for this roster, and a change that seems to have brought them right back to the tip top of the tier 1.
EMEA's #1 has fallen at the hands of DRX. A team that may not even have been here. Their arrival out of their control, but they are making the most of their appearance at VALORANT Champions in Paris. And it's the top team of EMEA who pays the price. An unreal performance, and I think top to bottom of this series, everybody showed up on DRX. Everyone had their moment. Min was phenomenal in map #1, and he certainly was here as well. But Bane, the guy coming back into the roster, he really stole the show here. That 4K, while Mako defused the first time, saved the game. The second Mako defused, that was a little bit more under his control.
It's genuinely mental that they managed to pull that one off. A very impressive display from DRX, the #4 seed, fairly low expectations from many, I think including their own region, but they have clearly taken that extra time, they have put the work in, and now they go to play NRG, and that lower bracket matchup is going to be Liquid for EDG, for who is out of Champions, the #1 last year, and the #1 from EMEA. That's going to be a bloodbath.